So we understood what is the meaning of time series. So it is a sequence of data points measured at different time, but these data points are spaced at uniform time interval. So according to the time, if they are arranged in the chronological order, then it is called as time series. All that you will understand is there is lot of data according to the timing, and we are supposed to arrange the data in a certain format. Okay. So there are we also studied two of the definition, one by Croxton and Cowden. A time series consists of data arranged chronologically, and then when quantitative data are arranged in order of their occurrence, the resulting statistical series is called as time series. This is given by Wessel and Vellet. Okay, so these were the definitions. Next, we understood how mathematically we represent the time series. Here, if time series is given by the variable y, so y1, y2, y3 is and so on. If these y variable values are given at timing t1, t2, t3, then we will get a series like this, where at different time points we have the different values of the given variable. Okay, and you can express that relationship as y is equal to f into t, where y is a y is a dependent variable. Okay, y depends on lot of factors as per what we take here, and t is nothing but time, so t represents time. Then what is time series analysis? Time series analysis comprises the methods for analyzing the data in order to extract meaningful statistics. So whatever data they give to us, whichever series we are trying to solve, we are supposed to uh, know what the statistics is trying to say us using that time series. So that is time series analysis. And coming to time series forecasting, using time series, we are going to do the forecasting. We are going to predict the future, what is going to happen by seeing the past data. Okay, by seeing the past data, we are going to understand what is there and how we are supposed to go about in the future. So seeing your previous marks, we are supposed to understand how the student performs or what is their understanding capability and all that. And it is fine, not everybody will have the same wavelength, so we'll be able to understand things. Then coming to uses of time series, we also understood that by seeing or by analyzing the past behavior, we will be able to we will be able to understand what we are supposed to do in the current scenario. So that will be the first point of understanding past behavior and predicting the future changes. Then it will also help us compare two data, maybe performance of two students or performance of two classes, performance of two semesters of a student, something like that. If we take for example, it will help us compare it easily with the help of time series. Then it is also very much helpful in understanding what might happen in the future. Now seeing the corona cases from March till let's say now this month starting is October. So seeing the September data, we can somehow predict a little part of October's corona cases. So using time series, we are predicting the probable future. Then time series helps in controlling current accomplishments. It will help us compare the actual data with the forecasted data. So let's say for example, October month we are expecting another somewhere around 80,000 cases in October month, for suppose. Okay, that's an example. But at the end of the October month, if we end up having only 40,000 cases of corona, then you can see the forecasted and actual performance has differed. It is okay to differ because we would on a different scale predict what can happen in future, and the actual thing might happen in a other way. So those were the uses. Coming to components, we learned there are four major components for time series, that is trend, seasonal variations, cyclical variation, and irregular variation. Now, these four components can be represented in the relationship of multiplication. So y is the dependent data, y is the variable, which is equal to trend into seasonal variation into irregular variation into into cyclical variation and into uh, irregular variation. So this is most used relationship for the components of time series. Now when it comes to another one, that is you can also assume an addition relationship, but this is not much used because it is not much accurate as how you take the multiplication of the uh, components. Okay, now let us learn each of the component individually, how good it is and how or where do we use all of these components. Okay, so first one is trend. Now in trend, it is also called as secular trend. It is denoted by T. Okay, trend or secular trend, it is denoted by T. Now here it refers to the variation of data over a long period of time. Just a second. Okay, sorry, let's continue. So trend or secular trend refers to variations of the data over a long period of time. So here first thing what we have to understand is we are taking the data for a long period of time. Okay, next, the general tendency of the data to increase or decrease during a long period of time is called as trend. Now we talk about fashion trend, we talk about sales that is happening, we talk about how what is the trending video, trending photo, what does that mean. For a long period of time we have been seeing lot of changes in one particular subject or scenario, or that is the data. Now let's say now there is no TikTok, right? So TikTok is banned in India. So instead of that, let's say people are using Snapchat, Instagram, Hello. There are a lot of other things that you will find nowadays, right? So these apps, let's say they are trending now. Now in the subject of apps, for a long time we are using these apps only. So there might be an increase of the app or there might be a decrease of the app. Both can happen. I'm not only talking about increase or not only talking about decrease. Both can happen in this case. So in when you're seeing changes in the data, either increase or decrease for a longer period of time, then it is known as trend. So let us understand a definition. According to Simpson and Kafta, okay, these are the people who gave the definition. Trend, also called secular or long-term trend, is the basic tendency of the series to grow. To grow is to go up. Decline is to come down. Over a period of time, the concept of trend does not include short-range oscillations, but rather the steady movements over a long period of time or long time. Now, let's say, for example, we will take the sale of mask. That is the best example as of now. Or let's say hand sanitizer. Now, from this year starting, somewhere in year starting, let's say in January, February, the masks were normally taken by hospitals and few companies. So they were, let's say this is a graph. Okay, for this year, let's say they were starting here. Now in the month of March, you can suddenly see a peak. Okay, and from there it came down a little and again it is going and going and it is raising only. This can be a upward trend, which means there is increase of the products demand as well as supply. Okay, so when this is a graph and the graph goes up and up for a long period of time. For a long period of time. Now see this hereafter, okay, the new normal will be with the mask. People will be scared to touch every random places. They'll be touched to, eat with the, before we were not thinking so much, right? We used to just go around, travel in bus, sometime have lunch in bus, or in a vehicle. It was all fine because we did not care much. But now after the pandemic, we will become very, very conscious. We'll be very careful, and we don't go and touch any random place. Even before, using the lift, to use the buttons in the lift, we think twice. So now it is a long period of time that mask has a good market. So this can be one type of trend. Now similarly, if you see the hotel business, okay, the hotel business was as usual. Okay, let's say they started from here this year, they were in a normal place. Okay, now March end, they started going down slowly. Okay, every year in their March April half, people were okay, they were like, nothing will happen, we will go eat outside. Once that lockdown happened, the complete dip happened in the trend. Okay, so let me change this a little. Okay, so let me use a different color. Now here, let's say they have started like this and they're going normal. And March, last week somewhere, 24th somewhere, we had the lockdown, all the hotels were closed, their sale went down. Okay, and it was almost zero for quite a long time, and now slowly it is coming up. Okay, and in between again, if there was lockdown, again it will go down. So these are short oscillations, these are for short term period. These are for short term period. People cannot stay without eating from outside. Okay, so these are short term period. We don't consider this too much into secular trend. But when you take about a long term concept, then it is always best to go with the trend. Okay, so that is a concept here which will help us to understand the data, little changes here and there over a period of time. This can happen with your sales, production, population, etc. Now population of India has been increasing like anything. Okay, people love to increase the population. Now we are 130 crore. We are 130 crore odd. Okay, you can never say proper number. 130 crore odd in India. Now it keeps on going like this. It's a long trend for a very, very long term. So that is trend. Understood what you mean by trend? Everybody understood? Can we go on to the next type? Okay. Next is seasonal variation. Now, seasonal variation are those variations which occur at regular intervals and repeat during the period of 12 months. Monthly sales, production, Dasara time, two-wheelers and four-wheelers, they usually buy. Okay, let's say Ganesha Gauri festival, Ganesha festival, they buy home appliances. These festival times, they buy home appliances. Summer, cold items are sold more. Ice creams, cool drinks, Coke, Pepsi, and your Maaza, and those fruit juices. Everything is sold more. If they don't get anything, if they even keep cold water, if they keep water in the fridge and give, that is also sold more. So these are seasonal variations. So every year there is a cycle which is set. Okay, so in this cycle, in the month of let's say February, March, April, May, there are a lot of mangoes which come to the market. Okay, so those 3-4 months we concentrate more on mangoes. We prepare all possible dishes, we eat all possible variety of mangoes. There will be mango mela happening, there will be some food mela happening where mangoes is important and all that. Okay, so that is one cycle. Then going on further, let's say in monsoon season people like to have more spicy food, so we incline towards more spicy food. Then again it is winter, and in winter again we will also like something to eat hot. So like how our body craves for things, similarly business has a cycle. So for them, the time when they'll be able to make good profits, maybe 4 to 5 months in a year. So they will make sure that 4 to 5 months they utilize it completely. Okay, they utilize it completely. So that is seasonal variation. They happen at regular intervals, but they repeat again every year. So that is known as seasonal variation. Now these seasonal variation may be due to natural causes resulting from changes in weather and climatic conditions. So if it is too hot, we try to have a ice pack, or we try to have something cold so that it will help our body to cool down, to maintain the temperature. When it is too cold outside or when it is too rainy outside, we would like to eat something. When it is rainy, you would like to eat something spicy, but when it is cold, you like to eat something hot. Okay, so that will help you to balance your body temperature. So seasonal variations happens because of natural causes. And secondly, human causes, like change in customs, taste and habits. So we also would have certain time where we would eat. Okay, these months we are supposed to eat this vegetable, or we are supposed to eat this product, like anything. Okay, like anything. So evening snacks, everybody wants to have something from bakery. It is very difficult now, but still I'm just talking about the customs and taste and all that. Okay, or if someone has a habit of eating chocolate after every meal, you have breakfast, you eat a chocolate, you have lunch, you eat a chocolate, you have dinner, you eat a chocolate. So those are habits. So for people who love eating sweet so much, so they will always have a stock of chocolate along with them. So because of that also, the sales might increase. Now if it is in the month, usually if not for COVID, if it is in the month of May, June, stationery shops will be filled because schools are going to start as usual, right? So that is the time when all the companies of Classmate and your Yuva and DOMS and all stationery, Natraj, everybody will make sure they have enough stock so that they can cater to all their customers. So that is one season where students buy everything in lot. Parents come and buy 3-4 boxes of pencil, paper, books. They just buy everything in bundle because they think it is cheap, or they think it is much better option. So that will be the other cause. Now, the evaluation and understanding of a seasonal variation is very much helpful to a businessman. Why it is helpful to businessman? Because he can particularly plan when he has to advertise, when he has to make more order, when he has to do more production, and where he has to do the marketing. If he knows the season properly, if he understands what customers do in that particular season, then they will be able to do a lot of marketing. Now when it is Ganesha festival and when it is Dasara, now in Kolkata they are doing Durga Puja. Okay, and that northern side usually they have that Navratri after Ganesha. Again they have this Navratri which happens. It's a very grand festival. Okay, so here what they do in that Durga Puja, what all is required, what all things will be sold more during that period of time. If a businessman is able to analyze that, suppose let's say they are using lot of incense sticks, agarbatti. Okay, incense sticks, that fragrant sticks, whatever you get. Okay, so agarbatti is being used too much, let's say, for example. So those agarbatti companies will have a seasonal time. So seasonal time, they make sure all this festival time they produce enough stock and they sell the enough stock. Now after the festival times, let's say October, November maximum, October end somewhere you will have Diwali, or November maximum you will have Deepavali. Then after that, the next festival is only in the January, which will be Yugadi. Now all that is not, very prominent. So all this agarbatti and all, they will not use too much. So the major time when they use agarbatti is from your Ganesha festival till Diwali, Deepavali. That 4 5 months, they'll have a good business. So the businessman is supposed to plan according to the season whenever they'll be able to do it. So that will be your seasonal variation. So we saw two of the things. First is secular trend, where the trend is going increasing or decreasing in nature. The data keeps changing very frequently. Coming to seasonal variation, the data changes according to the season, according to the time, but it gets repeated after 12 months. Understood seasonal variation? We're going to solve problems on all of this. Okay, now going on to the next, cyclical variation. Cyclical variation depends on the business cycle. Now, can anybody say me what are the steps, or what are the processes in the business cycle? What are the processes in the business cycle? What are the 4 stages? We start with introduction. No one knows. We start with introduction. After introduction, what will come? Growth. And then after growth, maturity, decline, recovery. This is extra. Are you guys able to understand? Am I audible to everyone? Then answer me when I ask questions. Okay, so we have these cyclical variations in the business cycle, starting from introduction, growth, maturity, decline, and recovery. Now these cyclical variations refer to variations in the time series as per the business cycle. How business cycle moves up and down, similarly you will have the cyclical variations. So here they have given well defined phases. They have not added your introduction, growth and all. They have started from prosperity. Prosperity is nothing but your maturity. So we have reached the highest level of profit for the product. That will be the prosperity. Then after prosperity, it will come, what will come is the decline. Now once we have reached the highest level, from there we have to come down. It is obvious we have to come down. So that will be the decline. And then if it goes too much down than the benchmark, then it will be called as depression. Okay, and then once it reaches the lowest point, it has to bounce back. So that is nothing but recovery. Now here you will have to understand this with something like this. Okay, I'm sure you would have seen this diagram. So let's say this is introduction and this is growth and this will be prosperity. Okay, this part will be prosperity, and then we have decline and this is depression. Okay, and this is depression. This is the lowermost point, this is the highermost point. Okay, and after depression they recover, they come back again, they start rising again, they prosper again, they decline again, they have depression, and again they recover. This is a cyclical, it is a never ending cycle. It just goes on and on and on. Okay, now all the business activities like production, sales, profits, all are affected by this. Few times they will have very good sales, and if it is not a season for them, or if it is not a time of the year that they can't make lot of business, it goes down, it goes to the decline and to the depression. Okay, the analysis of cyclical variation is also of great importance to businessmen in predicting booms and depressions. Okay, uh, so when you have the booms and depressions, in that you're supposed to understand what all are there. Okay, the analysis of cyclical variations is of great importance. When you understand what is happening with the cyclical variation, you will understand what are booms and depressions in the policy. Fine, so that is your cyclical variations. Then irregular variations. In irregular variations, we will have a random or accidental variations. Here there is nothing planned, nothing will be planned here. So suddenly let's say because of pandemic, the demand for sanitizers and this Dettol and mask and gloves, suddenly it increased, the demand increased, and people started buying. They started paying 600 800 rupees for a mask and all that, and they started buying. So that is irregular variation. Now slowly you can see everywhere there is a mask shop. Every person who has a shop will also have a mask, who will be selling mask, right? So that is random or accidental variations. Okay, so they include all type of variations other than trend, seasonal and cyclical. If they don't belong to trend, seasonal and cyclical, then they belong to irregular. So any other part or any other variety of variations you find which is not in the three will come under irregular variation. So there's a definition. Let us see what's the definition. The irregular variations in a time series is composed of non-recurring sporadic forces which are not attributed to trend, cycling and seasonal. That's what they are saying. If it does not belong to trend, cyclical and seasonal variations, then it is called as irregular variation. This irregular variation you can usually see during war, floods, pandemic, earthquake, or any other technological changes. So these are the four major components of a time series. Okay, did you all understand until here? Any doubts? I want everybody to reply. Next, we have computation of trend values. How do we compute? Now, we saw a lot of theory part, which is talking about what is trend, how is trend used to do the analysis and all that. Okay, so here we are understanding how do we calculate the trend. Now, only reading the lines will not give us the form. Now, how do we apply that into the numbers, or how do we apply that into the real life? So we will understand that. Okay, so moving average method. This method consists of taking arithmetic mean of the values of a certain time span. This is the important word. So we are going to take arithmetic mean of the values that is given to us for a certain period of time. Let's say we consider 3 years as the average. So we are going to add up, or we are going to find out arithmetic mean for the data of 3 years. Okay, so that is known as moving average method. Okay, we move on with the 3 years average, or 5 years average, or 4 years average, and we will be able to find out the arithmetic mean of it. Okay, and then placing the average at the center of the time span. Now whatever average that we get, whatever the value of arithmetic mean or arithmetic average that we get, it can be at the center of the time span. Now we will understand this using the problem later. So please understand, under moving average method, which is the first method, we are going to calculate arithmetic mean, for a certain period of time, and that arithmetic mean will be placed in the center of the data that is given to us. Okay, now let us see how do we calculate. The procedure is repeated by dropping the first period figure of the values and adding the figure of the next period. New averages emerge as the time span are moved further. The procedure will continue till the end of the data. The average is taken as the trend value for the unit of time span, which gives a smoother curve when all the moving averages are plotted on the graph. So whatever data we get, when we take the arithmetic mean of the data until the end last data what we have, and when we plot all the values on the graph, it will give us a smooth curve, which means it doesn't have a pointed lines. Okay, it will give us a smooth curve of an average of the trend values. Okay, so that is known as moving average method. Now in this moving average method, we can find the average for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years and so on. Okay, but one thing we have to understand is the moving average of a period n is a series of successive arithmetic means of m overlapping values at a time. So for this, I think we will directly go to the problem that will make it very easier for you to understand. Now before that, how do we find the arithmetic mean? Suppose if we are finding arithmetic mean or we are calculating moving averages for 3 years. Okay, 3 yearly moving average if we are calculating, then take the first data y1, y2, y3. We take the first data and then we whole divide that by 3. Why 3? Because we are calculating the average for 3 years. So that will be the first moving average. Then coming to the second moving average, we will not take from y4. Okay, but we are calculating from y2, y3, y4. From second, the next 3 data will be calculated, added, and then we take a average by 3 because it's again 3 yearly moving average. Understood? And then similarly y3, y4, from here we are going to calculate and so on. How many ever data we have, so many ever averages we will find. Okay, now what we will do is we will go to the problem. Okay, this is all is the explanation of the same thing. We will come back to this later. Okay, we'll go to the problem here. But before me starting with the problem, any doubts until here? Guys, reply in the chat box quickly. Any doubts until here? Can we start with the problem? Okay, so let us start. First, we will calculate the average that has been asked. So first we will read the question. Now the first question is talking about calculate 3 yearly, 5 yearly moving averages for the following data. Okay, so first we will calculate 3 yearly moving average and then we will see the 5 yearly. So first 3 yearly moving average, they have given us the data year 2000, 2001, 2002 until 2012. So they have given us 13 years data. 2001 to 2012 is 12 years and then we have 13 years data, and then they have given us the production. So they have given us the production data. So in the year of 2000, they were manufacturing 24,000 units. So if you see here, it says 000, which means thousands. When you have 3 zeros, it is 1000. Then you have 2 zeros, it is hundreds. Okay, so 24,000 units in 2000, 26,000 units in 2001, 27,000 units in 2002, and so on. Okay, so that is what is given to us in the question. Now, let us first calculate 3-yearly data for this question. Now, here is the solution. First, write down the year. Okay, first write down the year from 2000 to 2002. Then write down the variable, that is the production. Okay, that will be the y. Y is nothing but what is given to us is the production data, and which is in 000 units. No need to write 00 everywhere. Okay, so instead of writing 00 everywhere, they have written it only once. Okay, so that is what we are writing down from the question. Now the actual procedure starts, so listen carefully. Now firstly we have to find out 3-yearly moving total. First, it is not average, we will first find out 3-yearly moving total, which means y1, y2, y3. Okay, add the three of them, you will get 77. 24 plus 26 plus 27 will give you 77. Okay, so that will be your first moving average. Now, one more thing you have to understand is, first count how much data you have. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 data we have, and 13 is a odd number. Correct? 13 is a odd number. Now, when you have odd number of data, then you are supposed to leave the first entry. You are supposed to leave the first entry here and then write that average of, or the total of 77 from the second entry. Understood? Now, this will be for the first moving average total. Now, going to the next moving average, y2, y3, y4, 26, 27, 28. If you add all the three, you will get 81. Okay. Next, after this, we are going to the next one, that is y3, y4, y5. If you add 27, 28 and 28, you will get 83. Now, where are you placing this 83? See, 27, 28, 28 and 83 is in the middle column, the center column. So this is what they were trying to say. You have to place the average in the center of the data that has been taken.